great Mr. Monroe. And it's so powerful every time I hear him, because he's taught me so much in the space of being able to be in his presence, right? Being able to have been in his presence, and then being able to still listen to him. Being able to still listen to him. You guys can see me right now. Can everybody see me? Can everybody see me? Can you guys turn your camera on? I want to get personal. Let's get personal. Turn your camera on, everybody. I see the young lady in the car. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see people. She's in the car and she's showing herself. Some of y'all at home, y'all don't want to show yourselves. I want to see you. I want to see your face, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get personal. There's so much to really want to talk about. And I'm saying to myself, well, wow, where do I start? You know what I mean? When I hear Miles talk about what he was just talking about, leadership, and talking about so much energy, so much power, so much greatness is in the graveyard, right? And my wife's mentor, Les Brown, spoke about that before as well. Talked about that so much talent is in the graveyard. And I want y'all to think about that. Just take a moment and think about how many of us never really execute anything. I want y'all to take a minute. Let's give a moment of silence for that, because really, you know, we want to really give a moment of silence for how many of us never execute anything. And then people pass on and you never see or have seen that potential. But here is what you hear at the obituary. She was so good. She was trying to accomplish such and such. You know, she has done this or he has done that. But what they really wanted to do, one of the things that he always set out to do. See, ladies and gentlemen, I come to tell you today that we got to accomplish all things that we seek after. We have to accomplish all things. I need y'all to hear me. You heard what I said? That we seek after. I didn't say accomplish all things. I said all things that we seek after. I want to make sure you guys are with me. I want to make sure you guys are with me. Are you guys with me? I want to make sure you guys are with me. All things that we seek after. Right? That's what we're talking about, that we seek after, in this portion of what I just mentioned. We need to accomplish all things that we seek after. We don't want to be in a position, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to be in a position that we are unable, you understand? We don't want to be in a position that we're unable to fulfill what we put on the plate, because we put so much on the plate. We got all these wants, but we don't recognize the needs, right? We got all these wants, but we don't recognize the need. So we want to say that today we're going to seek out to accomplish all things that we seek after. So guess what? If those all things are two things, ladies and gentlemen, then you need to make sure you work on them and get them accomplished. If you understand me, type 1 in the chat. Wherever you guys are, if you're on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you are, go ahead and say, I understand, okay? Go ahead and say, I understand, because I want to make sure that you all are with me right now. See, here's the thing. Communication, interaction is one of the greatest things that we have. We must interact. We must communicate, because we can't accomplish all things, right? I need you to get this, right? We can't accomplish all things that we seek after if we do not communicate, if we do not interact, because guess what? Then those things aren't going to be accomplished. So here's the thing, guys, gear up for the topic, because I want to talk about being able to be effective in your life, being able to be effective in life, being effective. So let's just put being effective in life as a leader, being effective in life as a person, being effective in life as someone who might be under the leadership where you're serving to become that person. You're trying to elevate to be in the next position of a great job. Just go right ahead and tap in to what we're doing. If you're driving, of course, I know you can't take notes, okay? We don't want you to drive and take notes, okay? That's not what we want you to do, but I want you to be effectively listening. And if you have another device, then you want to record, right? Then you want to record it so that we be able to get a hold of everyone, right? So guys, I'm going to go ahead and set my notes up and get you guys going, because really it's about winning. It's about getting to the level that we need to get to. I want to make sure, are you guys seeing me clearly? Want to make sure everybody's seeing me clearly? Okay. All right, perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this. Let's talk about some things. Now, you heard him talking about talent being in the grave. And there's more talent in the grave than talent alive. Okay, there's more talent in the grave than talent that is alive. Okay, so let's talk about being effective and setting up a growth plan. Let's have that conversation, because see, we cannot be effective in no other way if we don't understand growth. And I said to all of you, I said, when we start these leadership calls, these leadership summits, right, we're going to have strategic conversation. We're going to have conversation that may really upset and shape the norm of things, right? We're going to have strategic conversations. So I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. See, I asked y'all if y'all was seeing me, but the issue was I needed to make sure I was bright. My light was down a little bit. Now I feel myself a little bit better. I mean, I feel a lot better. I feel good. You know what I mean? I'm still, I'm getting it set up, guys, So listen to this. Here's your first thing. What should be included in a growth plan, right? What should be included in a growth plan? Now we're talking about being effective as an individual, being effective as a businesswoman or a businessman, being effective in life. So let's talk about this towards our growth in our business. Let's talk about this in our growth as a financial plan. Let's talk about growth. Okay. Now, I want somebody to type it up in the chat for me. What does it mean when we say growth? What does it mean when we say growth? Somebody, because I have scholars on this call, right? And I like to challenge you guys. Somebody type it up. What does it say when we mean growth? What does growth mean? Can somebody tell me that? Can somebody tell me that? I need to know you guys are with me. What does growth mean? Okay, somebody say expansion. Come on, people, talk to me, right? Right? Talk to me. Is there only one person that's so super smart on this call with all these? There you go, develop. Yes, evolution. That's right. That's right. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, here's the thing. We're talking about a growth plan, but I want you to understand that we can utilize and set up a growth plan in every area of our life, right? In every area of our life. And what does the meaning, or one of the dictionary meaning, talks about with growth? It says the process of increasing in physical size. That's one of the main meanings that you hear, right? Or something that has grown or is growing, right? Something that has grown or is growing. Now, here's the thing. Let's hold on to the something that has grown or is growing. Somebody should write that down. Something that has grown or is growing. Something that has grown or is growing. Okay, let's talk about that, right? Now, for those of you who might have kids, or you have siblings, or whatever it is, you always know when the kids get to a certain age, they like to say, I'm grown, right? I'm grown. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman, okay? Something that has grown or is growing. Now, here's a question I want to ask everyone in their life. Are you grown, or are you still growing? That question right there. Are you grown, or are you still growing? Ooh, come on, people. Come on, people. I need to see where y'all at. I need to see where y'all at. Are you grown, or are you still growing? See, that's what I'm talking about. I want y'all to type it up. Type it up. Are you grown, or are you still growing? Hey, guys, I got so much energy on me. The energy is different right now. See, I always got energy, guys, right? I always got energy. So I need y'all to put like energy in the caps after this, like with energy, all caps on energy. Because here's the thing. I'm in my city. I'm at home right now. I'm in my city. I'm in the greatest city on planet Earth. I'm in the NYC. That's my hometown. So the energy is different right now. The energy is so powerful right now. I'm at home. I don't think y'all understand the energy, the kinetic energy, the force that's moving through right now, information that you guys are going to have. Type that energy in all caps, because I want you guys to really receive what you're about to hear. Are you grown, or are you still growing? So when you hear, okay, wow, I got to realize, am I grown, or am I still growing? See, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I have a tendency that I like to think I'm grown. See, I have a tendency that I like to think that I'm grown. And I realized something one day. I said, hold on a minute. See, you've only grown in size and in age, but you have not grown because there's still information that you need to receive, learn, and to be able to impart in others. But the minute you believe that you have not grown in size and you have not grown in age, you are just grown, period, then you have locked off and closed your fists to receiving information, to be able to apply the information, so then you cannot impart the information on anyone's life. Am I making sense? If I'm making sense, type make sense. If I'm making sense, type make sense, because I want to make sure that somebody is with me. I want to make sure somebody is with me. So are you growing? Are you still growing? So here's the thing about the individual who understand that they are still growing. The individual who understand that they're growing, they then will understand applying a growth plan. They then will understand that a growth plan is efficient for success. They will understand that a growth plan is efficient for success. So let's talk about it. What is a growth plan? What does a growth plan include, right? What does it include? And we're talking about this growth plan in the avenue of financial success. We're talking about this growth plan in an avenue of elevating and escalating upwards towards in your job, whatever position you're doing, whether it be model, acting, trucker, nurse, businessman, businesswoman, whatever it is, okay? Now, what do we want? What do we want when we're trying to acquire things or to be able to expand? The first thing when you're talking about what does a growth plan include? Look, a description of expansion opportunities. A description of expansion opportunities. That's one. That's when you start talking about a growth plan, right? What does a growth plan include? Because we're talking about you want to expand. You said, I always want to be successful. I always want to be this model, this top model. I want to be this top guy at my job. I want to be this top guy in everything that I have decided I wanted to do. But you don't understand how to go about doing those things. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I talked about the Leadership Summit. We're going to go down certain avenues and certain lanes so that we will understand how to win. Now, before I continue with the growth plan, let me make it clear so everyone will understand why we're talking about this growth plan right now. Okay? Now, there is two powers, right? There's a few superpowers that's needed, right? There's a few superpowers that's needed to be elevated. But let's talk about this. With the people in our United States of America or in any country at its time that is dealing with trying to become a powerful or a superpower or trying to liberate or to allow the people to have a voice, one, you need political power. I need y'all to hear me. You need political power, but you also need economical power, okay? You can't just have political without economical, right? We need economical influence, right? And when we're seeking economical influence, some of the things going down on the level, you got to have a growth plan. Why do you need a growth plan? Because people seek to create change by deciding that I'm going to make noise. I'm going to scream. They need to hear my voice. I'm going to break things. I'm going to throw a tantrum. I'm going to do all these different things. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't create the change. The noise gets an attention of you're making noise so we can apply more strength and strenuous chains to lock you down versus you saying, guess what? I will be strategic. And when I put certain things in place, I will develop a strategic plan. Now I will acquire the financial backing through connecting with the right people. I will acquire the togetherness because I've learned that me alone cannot make a difference, but I need others to partner up with me. We will then acquire the land that we may say, okay, hey, we need power. So in power, we need wealth. We need to make sure we acquire things like the land. We need to acquire and then build the structures on the land. And then in terms of building the structures of the land, then we need to hire the individuals to put them in office and put them in place because now we own the land, we own the structures of the land. So now when you start doing those things, ladies and gentlemen, you start strengthening your community economically. Am I making sense? Somebody type make sense. Type make sense. Because we're talking about this growth plan, but I wanted to go down a line so everybody will understand me before I really go down in the concept of you setting up this growth plan. You setting up this growth plan. Now, if I lost some of you, I'm sorry. If I lost some of you, I'm sorry. Because when we come to the leadership summit, it's really about you understanding where you are and where you need to be. Okay? It's that clear. Want to make sure that I'm making sense. Economical power is important. See, we have a lot of political power right now, but guess what? We don't have an economical power. So how do you guys elevate in any position of your life? You're making noise, you're watching television, they're telling you their vision, and you're getting rowdy off of somebody's vision. You're not rallying up yourself and getting upset because you have put it in place. Your team and your organization have put it in place. You're worried about someone else's vision. So here's the thing. How about you structure yourself a growth plan? How about you put yourself in position of power? How do we do that? Okay? How do we do that? How do we do that? I just said one, a description of expansion opportunities. What is the next thing? Financial goals broken down quarterly and yearly. Write it down. Financial goals broken down quarterly and yearly. I'll say the first one again. The first one was a description of expansion opportunities. Financial goals broken down quarterly and yearly is the second, right? Financial goals. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You have to have a description of your expansion opportunity so that you know where you're going. How can you build a house without a blueprint? Do you have a plan? Do you know if the house is going to be 2,000 square feet? Do you know if it's going to be 10,000 square feet? Okay. Then you have to have the financial goals broken down. Notice I said broken down. It has to be detailed quarterly and yearly. See, I was at an event that we held for one of our organizations this past weekend in Dallas, Texas, where we had about maybe 12,000 or so in the arena. And one of the leaders in the organization said something that I was talking to some of my leaders about in my immediate organization. And that individual talked about, when he came up there, he said, listen, I want you guys, as I leave, I want you guys to hold on to this. He said, I need you guys to hold on to this. And he played a song and he said, repeat after me. He said, I'm going to win the minute. He said, I'm going to win the hour. He said, I'm going to win the day. I'm going to win the week. I'm going to win the month. I'm going to win the year. Okay? I need you guys to understand that. So he said it real fast. He was playing the music. They have this hip hop song in the back. He said, I'm going to win a minute. And everybody said, I'm going to win the minute. He said, I'm going to win the hour. I'm going to win the hour. I'm going to win the day. I'm going to win the day. And he's going on. I'm saying to you guys, if you heard that, I just said your financial goals need to be broken down quarterly and yearly. But take it even further, right? When we talk about your expansion opportunities and then go to their financial goals, you should make sure that you are set out to win the minute, to win the hour, to win the day, to win the week, to win the month, to win the year. See, your planning have to be precise. Your planning have to be precise. See, the next one you need to write down is you need to then have a marketing plan of how you will achieve growth. A marketing plan. That's right, precision, Derek. That's right. A marketing plan of how you will achieve growth. Got to have a marketing plan. See, not only your financial goals broken down quarterly and yearly, but guess what? You have to have a marketing plan on how you will achieve growth. This is why I just said winning the minute, winning the hour, winning the day, as the gentleman said. Why? Because your marketing plan needs to have a full layout on how you will achieve the growth in your business, how you will achieve the growth in your life, how you will achieve the growth in your relationship, how you will achieve the growth with your children, how you will achieve the growth in growing in a space that you didn't think you were able to grow in. That's key, ladies and gentlemen. That is key. All right? Now, after having a marketing plan, you want to have now a financial plan. A financial plan to determine what capital is accessible during your growth. Ooh, I don't think y'all was coming here for this today. Some of y'all thought y'all was just coming to press play and listen. Y'all don't think y'all was coming to learn. Y'all didn't think y'all was coming to absorb. Well, I hope you absorb, because here's the thing. Today, y'all need to be SpongeBob SquarePants. I know everybody know about SpongeBob, right? You need to be SpongeBob SquarePants. You need to absorb everything. That's right. You need to absorb everything. But when you absorb it, you need to let it marinate in you. Okay? Let it marinate in you. Right? You need to let it marinate. You see, you have a marketing plan, but now you need a financial plan, but not just a financial plan to determine, ladies and gentlemen, to determine what capital is accessible during growth. Woo! I don't think y'all understand the power of that. Capital that is accessible. That is accessible. I'll say it one more time. That is accessible, right? During growth. See, everybody, oh, I got a financial plan, Boston. I'm good. You need to listen. I got my MBA. I got my MBA, Boston. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm good. Really? Well, let's spend a week together. I'm just going to go with, let's see if you know how to win the minute, win the hour, win the day, and win the week. Let's see. Because I want to know if you said, oh, I have a financial plan, but is it to determine what capital is accessible? So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, some of you might still be stuck. So let me make it plain. Let me make it plain. He said, write the vision, make it plain, that they who see it will run, right? But listen, I need you to understand, right? What that looks like. Well, Boston, I got $50,000 that I was planning on putting in my business, and this is what I got. This is all I got, and this is what I'm going to put into my business, and trust me, I know it's going to work. All right, I like the way you sound fired up. But John, how much money overall you said you have? Well, I got 50 grand. All right, John, you got 50 grand. Okay. All right, so you have $50,000. What do you do, John? Oh, man, I'm a janitor, but I'm going to change that by the time I set this business up. You're a janitor? Okay, awesome. So what would you say you're making yearly? Oh, Boston, man, I'm doing about $30,000 a year. But listen, I'm telling you, all of that will change when I invest this $50,000. Well, John, what city do you live in? Well, Boston, I live in New York City. You live in New York City? Yeah, Boston, I live in New York City. So, John, what would you say your overhead seem to be every month? Oh, man, Boston, with the kids, 4 kids, I see them now half and half. The ex-wife, I'm paying for child support. And I got so much going on. I still got a car because I don't want to take the train all the time when I hang out with the kids. I want to take them to different places, and so I want to pick them up. And so now when that conversation rambles on, ladies and gentlemen, he is over what he is taking in monthly. He is paying out double that amount. But then he said he has 50 grand to put into his business. And then I just said to you guys, you need a financial plan to determine what capital is accessible during your growth. Do you believe if someone have $5,000 monthly debt, but they're paying out $10,000 all the time, but they're only making $30,000 a year, but they claim they have $50,000 to invest? Do you believe they truly have $50,000 to invest? Somebody answer that question. Somebody answer that question. Somebody answer that question. Type it in the chat box. Type it in the chat box. I want to know. Don't be scared. What they say, don't be scared. Is that what they say? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Answer the question. Answer the question. I don't need you to assume it. I need you to know it. That's right. I need you to just know it, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to know it. They do not. This is why it clearly said, ladies and gentlemen, a financial plan to determine what capital is accessible during your growth. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. What John should have been saying is that, boss, this is the time frame I am putting in for. It can be longer. I'm going to make these sacrifices, but I have $50,000. However, I know because I'm paying out more than I'm taking in, I'm going to have to cut back on some things, and I may have to drastically cut that number down and say, Boston, I need to do something that will allow me to spend $25,000 that will allow me to build something or start a process while I am trying to look for partnership, instead of me concerning with I am doing it by myself, because he's already in the negative. So when I talk about, I'm painting the picture so you guys will understand. It goes deeper than that, but I'm painting the picture for some of y'all who was lost. Some of y'all already had it, but I want to make sure what's accessible. You want to make sure what's accessible, not what you think you got, what is really going to be needed. Now, does that make sense? If you're with me, type with me. Come on. Type with me. That's what I need. I need to know. Okay? I need to know. I need to know. So you guys, today, what you're getting the layout to be effective. You're getting the layout to be effective. I'm giving it away for you guys on the summit today. I'm giving it away, ladies and gentlemen. You don't got to come to the class. You don't got to come to the private class. You don't got to book with me. I'm giving it away. Ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that you need is a breakdown, listen, of your company's staffing needs and responsibility. See, if you got a team, you're building a business with a team, sales team, if you're building a business, if you're in an organization and you're the manager, you're the owner, the CEO, the VP, whatever it is, you need a breakdown of whether it be your company or the company that you work for, right? Of the needs of the staff and the responsibilities. So guess what? For some of you who said, well, it's only me. Well, you need a breakdown of you who are now the company, the needs that the staff needs, which is you. You hear that? Because you're wearing different hats. So I don't want y'all to be lost. Well, but Boston, I'm my own boss. Well, you're the trucker. So guess what? When you're not the trucker, you're the husband. When you're not the husband, you are the guy who owns the trucking company. So as you own the trucking company, but then you are the staff of your trucking company, we still need to know what the needs of the staff is versus the needs of the owner. I don't think y'all hearing me. Some of y'all might be lost. See, some of y'all might be lost. You need to find out the needs. That's right. The needs and the responsibilities. So guess what? Boss. Okay, I'm the CEO. Wow, I'm also the driver. So the company overall needs to make sure that it has bond insurance. It needs to make sure if I'm a trucker, I have IFTR stickers. I have all the DOTs and everything that's required to have that truck on the road. Then, now I'm sitting in the seat. Oh, I need CDL license. Wow. I need so many hours of knowledge to be able to drive. Oh, I can't, that license doesn't cover a rig. So I need to make sure I can drive a rig. Okay. Then I need to understand how many hours that these things need to operate, right? Because see, now that's the needs, right? And then you go to the responsibility. So for some of you who might say, well, I don't have a company, Boston. Well, same difference, ladies and gentlemen. Because it's always until then. Somebody write down until then. It's always until then. Somebody write down until then. Because see, you are the boss. You are the operator. You are the everything until then. Until you get a staff hired. Until you've made more money or made enough money to have staff. Until you're able to expand. Come on, y'all. Come on. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, what are 4 growth strategies? Let's go there. That's another question now. Let's move on. What are 4 growth strategies? What are 4 growth strategies, ladies and gentlemen? I'll give you 4 main growth strategies, right? 4 main growth strategies, right? 1, you're a business person, right? So 1, market penetration. Market penetration. You want to be able to penetrate the market. See, market penetration, ladies and gentlemen, is the aim of this strategy is to increase sales or existing products or services or on existing markets. Thus, to increase your market share, pretty much. You're increasing your market share. So what is market penetration? As I'm breaking it down to you guys, ladies and gentlemen, the aim of this strategy is to increase sales of existing products or services on existing markets. Before I continue, I want to make sure you guys get that, right? Increase sales of existing products, right? Or services on existing markets. You know, I love it because when we hear something, sometimes we just go with what we're hearing, but we don't interpret or understand. The aim of the market penetration, ladies and gentlemen, right? The strategy. Notice I said a keyword. There is a strategy there, okay? It is to increase the sales of existing products. So what products do you have that you need to increase your sales? You're in trucking, whatever business you're in. What do you need to increase productivity? This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. What do you need to increase productivity as an employee? Ooh, some of you, I need y'all to understand. What do you need to increase productivity as an employee at the job? You're working for someone, but you want to elevate yourself. What do you need to increase productivity? What do you need to be a better husband? What do you need to be a better father, better mother? What do you need, right? Okay. And then we have existing markets. There's more than one market. You have your business, but it's not only one market that's available that you should really focus on, because there might be a few markets that you need your services to be known to. There'll be a few markets, because guess why? You're trying to grow. Expansion. Isn't that what I said about your expansion earlier? Right? So you need your services to be on those markets so you can penetrate those markets. So individuals can say, who is Mr. Rob? Who's this guy over here? Then when they find out, oh, he's pretty hot over there. Oh, wow. Okay, wow. So we didn't know about this guy. Let's research him. Let's check him out. Because why? You are now, okay, putting your services on other markets. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're an employee. You're putting yourself on the block of exposure to the manager, to the supervisor, to the boss. You're showing up on time. You're getting the work done effectively. You're volunteering on things that needs to be volunteered on. Your ear is to the business. Like they say, your ear to the street, your ear is to the business. You're up here, you're trying to get up there, but you're even finding out what's going on down here so that you can be a better help to certain things down here that will help up here operate even better. And when up here are seeing that down here is pretty effective, they're finding out who is allowing or creating that effectiveness. And when they find out that the person here is going down here and bringing it here, then you will get up here. So I might have lost some of y'all. Are you guys with me? Type with me again. Type with me in the chat box. Type with me in the chat box. If you're with me, type with me. For you guys who are on the other platforms, go ahead, type with me. Make sure if you guys are with me. This is what's so good. Market penetration. Now, guess what? The next thing, when you ladies and gentlemen have penetrated the market and you provided your products, your services, and so on, then here's what you want to do. The next one is market development, because you want to develop in that market. Market development. Okay? Because guess what? 5 markets for whatever you said you want to do. You're already operating in one. You now decided to expand yourself and your products and services on what? You want to increase sales of existing products, but then you want to get in your products and services on existing markets. So guess what? Now you've done that. You have to develop it, ladies and gentlemen. You have to develop. You got to develop that market. You want to build in that market. You want to build in that space. You want to get effective in that space. You want to find out, wow, these are the things that's going on here. How can I best develop me? I got to bring my A game. I got to show what I've done. And I got to always be able to expand and be strategic Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have, guess what? A marketing plan on how I will achieve growth. Because I have a financial plan which determines what capital is accessible during growth. Because I have a breakdown of my company's staffing needs and the responsibility. Are you guys with me? You see how it ties in? Ladies and gentlemen, you see how it ties in? So now you've developed that market, or you're developing that market. The next thing is product development. See, you're developing a market, but now the next thing is product development, ladies and gentlemen. Product development. Product development. Because you're working on a market, you're being present, you're doing the things that need to be done. But now, one of the things that needs to happen in the growth strategies, product development. How is your product now? And how best you need to develop your product to be much better. I hope y'all are with me. So how best you can develop yourself. For some of you who might be a little bit lost, if yourself is the product, how best you can develop yourself, right? How best you can develop your product. We know that Apple is a giant, but what number iPhone are we on? Come on, people. Come on, I want y'all to think about that. Yes, Rob, I got it. He's over there like, what? Listen, Apple is a giant. But what number iPhone are we on now? See, some of you might still be on iPhone 4, on 5, on 7, or 8. But ladies and gentlemen, Apple is at 12 plus. Okay? Apple is at 12. So what are they doing? They're always developing their product. Why? Because that market development that is happening, that market penetration that needed to happen, guess what's going on? When I penetrate the market, when I develop us in the market, then I'm going to drop my product in the market. I don't think somebody's hearing me. You understand what I'm saying? And then after product development, your last one that I believe is a great for the 4 growth strategies are diversification. Diversification. I should have said that one on the top. Diversification. We must diversify. I used Apple a while ago. I use them again. We must diversify. Do we only? Let's back up. We talked about 12. Well, we started off with a Mac. And then we moved from having one type of Mac to other type of Macs. Then we moved from that to tablets, iPads. Then we diversified and we said, look, let's get in the game. Can you hear me now? Let's add this iPhone to the repertoire, okay? And then we said, hold on a minute. They all walking around with something over their ears, or they want to hear something, so let's put some headphones together. You guys, you got to start following that diversification. So guess what? You need to diversify in your growth plan. You need to diversify in your life. You need to understand what diversification means so that you will be successful in every area of your life. You must diversify. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a relationship. You have a marriage. Guess what? All these things, somebody said, well, he's talking about financial, he's talking about strategy. But guess what? You turn to strategies in those areas of your life. I got to diversify. What I was doing 6 years ago with my lady is no longer working. So I got to diversify. I got to understand that she has been growing. And if she's been growing and I have not grown, guess what will happen? She will outgrow me. And that's vice versa. I will become, some of y'all might not want to hear this. Some of y'all might not want to hear this. I will become obsolete. Because now I'm a dinosaur. I'm a T-Rex. Some of y'all standing tall, but I'm a T-Rex. T-Rex is the most powerful, and all of that. Guess what? You were a T-Rex. But now she outgrown you. And she went hanging out with a little small reptile. And you feeling you were the big bad T-Rex. But because your behavior exhibit dinosaur behavior, and that's in your relationship, in your business, You are being, oh, no, we're good. We're the giants. We don't have to diversify and go on social media. We don't have to go digital. We are the giants of the industry. Then something called a pandemic hit. And then those who were digital became more powerful. And those giants that you guys respected are no more. Office buildings are shutting down. You guys could drive around in any city that you have, and you will see up for rent. You will see this company out of business, that company out of business. Oh, TJ Maxx, some of y'all probably don't know, done bought out some of the big boys. Some of y'all don't know. Why? Because they understood diversifying. Our portfolio must always diversify. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are 4 powerful growth strategies that I've given to you guys. Now, listen to this. Listen to this. The next question is, why is a growth plan important? And we're just going to talk about that because I know I'm going to have to continue this growth conversation because it's so powerful and it takes time for everyone to really understand and really absorb everything. The next question is, why is a growth plan important? Because that's something that most of you might ask yourself. That's something that people will ask, so why is a growth plan so important? So your growth plan, ladies and gentlemen, is essential. It's essentially, your growth plan, it's essentially your game plan. Hold on. Man. Your growth plan is essentially your game plan to reaching your growth targets and is an important step in growing your business. I'll say that again. Your growth plan, ladies and gentlemen, is essentially your game plan. See, understand this, because I'm gonna say it again. So for those who didn't catch it, right? I'm just pausing for a second. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. When you guys said, I got a game plan, ladies and gentlemen, learn the terminologies. That's why you're here. Let me teach you the terminologies. I got a game plan. Dude, don't worry, dog. I got a game plan. You don't know me. I got a game plan. Okay, what is your game plan? Lay out your game plan for me. Do you have market development in place? Do you have product development? Do you have diversification? Do you have all these things? So understand when I said, why is a growth plan important? A growth plan is essentially your game plan to reaching your growth targets. You heard that? A game plan to reaching your growth targets and is an important step in growing your business. Okay? So your growth plan is essentially your game plan to reaching your growth targets and is an important step in growing your business. Now, a growth plan, ladies and gentlemen, clearly states your objectives. And y'all should write that down, because a growth plan clearly states your objectives and the steps and activities you plan on implementing to achieve these objectives. I want to make sure you guys are with me. It clearly states, ladies and gentlemen, that's what your growth plan is. Clearly states your objectives and the steps and activities you plan on implementing to achieve these objectives. So your long-term vision and strategic goals. See that? That's where it boils down to. Your long-term vision and strategic goals. Your long-term vision and strategic goals. See, a lot of times we all can talk about, hey, let's go to a verse in the word, in the good book that I study, and yeah, write the vision, make it clear. But you write a vision, are you really making it clear? But if you claim you made it clear, do you understand the vision that you said you've made clear? Do you understand the vision that you said you've made clear? Because when you say you're going to write a vision, make it clear that those that see it will run from it. So I need you to hear this, right? You got to understand every detail of writing the vision and making it clear, because I don't want you to skip out on understanding that the vision, right, is for an appointed time. I said, though it seem as if may tarry, right? Do you truly understand that? Because that vision that you so clearly said you understand and you made clear, do you understand that it may not come to pass until 20 years later? Do you understand that it may not come to pass until 50 years later? Do you understand that it may not come to pass till 6 months later, till a week later? Because see, there must be a process. So if you don't go through the process, if you don't document the process, if you don't have a clear vision of the process, this is why we're talking about that growth plan being effective, because you have laid it out. There is nothing better than having steps laid out. Because, ladies and gentlemen, once you have steps laid out, here's the thing. Once you have steps laid out, it's like having your MapQuest or your Google Maps, your GPS, your navigational system. Isn't it amazing that if you have an iPhone or you say, hey, Siri, direct me to such and such and such, and you get the direction, or you put it on whatever your Google Maps is and you get the direction, block for block, light to light, turn to turn until destination. Who all appreciates that? Go ahead and type 7 in the chat box. Who all appreciate that? Type 7 in the chat box, because I want to make sure you guys follow me. Who all appreciate it, knowing that they can go from the beginning to the end because it is directly laid out for them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you decide after going that time to that destination that you want to go there again, but you do not remember it, you're able to then punch it in that phone again or that navigational system again, and it will take you directly there. Yes, say yes, type yes in the chat box. Yes, say yes, type yes in the chat box if you understand me. Okay? You are able to do just that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I said when we deal with leadership, a leader must know the way, because the leader has gone the way so that he can show the way. That is who we serve, an awesome creator who has structured things for us, right? So listen to this. Listen to this. You said that you like step by step to get from beginning to end. And if you don't remember the next time around, you can easily punch in the address and get there again. So ladies and gentlemen, why don't you have a blueprint for your business? Let me push my face closer. Why don't you have a blueprint for your business? Why do your business not have a growth plan? Why aren't you set up? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. You know, when you're a kid, you just say all the things jumble up. L, M, N, P, Q, R, you just saying it, right? But you know that there is an ABC song that takes you all the way to Z. How is it that your business doesn't have a growth plan? How is it that you don't have a blueprint? Here is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If and when you have a blueprint, if someone then says to you, hold on, why is a growth plan important? Somebody says that to you. Why is a growth plan important? You back up and say, hold on now, hold on. You just asked me, why is a growth plan important? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you why we should have a growth plan. I'm going to tell you that I need to be able to have expansion opportunities. That's why I have a growth plan. I need to have my financial goals broken down quarterly and yearly. That's why I have a growth plan. See, I have a marketing plan on how I will achieve my growth. I have a financial plan that determines what capital is accessible during my growth. See, it has been broken down on whether I'm the boss or if I have employees and what is the needs and what is the responsibility. Nah. I have a growth plan. You can't talk to me. I got it. because I don't have to jump steps. I can go back, ladies and gentlemen, and retrace everything and see that, wait, we are at product development. Guys, how are we at product development? Did we do market penetration? Did we penetrate a market? Because I'm hearing product development, but did we penetrate a market? Oh, did we do market development? Because you developing a product, but for what market when you didn't penetrate one and develop one? Whoa, come on, somebody. That's why you got to have the growth plan. That's why A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's why there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not 1, 10, 20, 80, 50, 90. No, because you need to trace the steps. And that's why Steve Jobs says you can't connect the dots unless you're looking backward. You got to connect them. You got to look back, ladies and gentlemen, so you can connect the dots. See, we must know history before we move in future, right? So we say history, his story. Well, guess what? It's your story. We've studied history, so now what is my story? I've seen the history of how other people do business. I have studied the history of how people are effective in certain areas of their life. Now I need my story. So I'm going to take from what I need to take from, learn what I need to learn, and implement what should be implemented for my business. Are you guys with me? This is what's so amazing. This is what's so amazing, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we must continue this conversation because you got to know your story. What is your story? That's what I'll leave you with today. What is your story? Somebody should write down my story. Somebody should write down my story because I'm going to ask you guys to remind me when we come on the call next time as we continue about this growth plan, right? I'm going to ask you guys to remind me. I'm going to ask you guys to remind me my story because we're going to leave it at diversification. We're going to leave it at diversification because my story, what is your story? My story. Because you said you want to be effective as a businessman. You said you want to be this nurse. You said you want to own your own company. You said you want to be able to invest in a financial portfolio. You said you want to learn about this new thing they call Bitcoin. You said you want to know this. You want to know that. Guess what? What is your story? What is your growth plan to be effective in that space in your life? So that's right. My story. That is what you need to write down. That is what you need to write down. I want to thank you guys for coming today. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this talk because this is what community is about. When we hear the word, it takes a village. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes a village. It takes togetherness. It takes oneness. See, in unison, many together, we will accomplish so much more than one trying to do it on their own. So you must understand that. And that's why you want to stay plugged in. You want to stay plugged in. You want to stay plugged in. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you guys to continue to remember. I need you to continue to remember that every Monday we do this leadership summit at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever coast you're on, I don't know about you, but I would break through doors and walls to be on the summit because this summit is not led by Mr. Boston. This summit is not led by Mr. Boston. I'm just here showing up. That's all I'm doing. I'm just showing up. I said energy when I come on this call because it's not being led by Mr. Boston. It's being led by my creator. I don't know if he's yours, but he is the most high. That's who leads this summit to get these strategic talk that when I bring on others on this call, it'll be led through the favor and the grace of the most high. So guess what? I know who I am. And most importantly, I know whose I am. So you want to shout it out from the mountaintop, get people on the summit, get them on here, let them be a part of this movement because this is a God-driven movement. This is not a Boston movement. This is a God-driven movement because it will hit you in the place that it need to so that there'll be a new thing happening. I need you to understand it should always be a new thing. Somebody type new thing in the chat box because it should always be a new thing. We get caught up and we start thinking that, well, it's a Boston thing. It's not a Boston thing. It's a most high God thing. So he's going to do a new thing. That's what he's going to do. Whatever you have going on and say that, hey, this is what I've decided to do. I want a growth plan. I want to be more effective. I want to accelerate my lifestyle. Then you first have to know who the Most High is. You know, I embraced a real good conversation this week, and I'll share something with you guys. Spoke to a gentleman who has about 6 children, a faithful husband. This gentleman is making multiple figures monthly, and we had a real good talk. And I said to him, I admire you. I said, men do not come and approach another man and say they admire him. I said, brother, I admire you for your longevity, for your consistency, for your love, for the belief. I admire you that you know whose you are. And he said to me, it's one word, what I know, but sometimes you got to receive it. And I give it back to you guys. It doesn't matter who you seek and say is the head of your life. But I'm going to tell you this, no matter who that is, there's only a creator, one creator that did it all. And his word to me was, brother, you know what it is? I break through all walls and barriers because I seek the kingdom, and every other thing was added on in my life. I impart that to you guys this evening. Seek ye the kingdom, and all of you guys will get the same results that you're looking for in your life. So type a question or what you guys may want us to speak on in the chat, so the team will grab a hold of it and I can be able to address it on our next summit as well. So what will you guys, or what do you guys believe we should address on this summit when we get on the call the next time? Ladies and gentlemen, type it in the chat for me. I want you guys to type it in the chat what you guys would love for us to address, and then we will address these things on the next up and coming summit. Type it up in the chat for me, guys. I'm checking the chat right now as we speak. I want to see if there's anything that you guys would love us to really speak on, right? Okay, I want to know this, right? Before we all get out of here, before we shut it down, is there anything? Okay, somebody type one thing in their discipline. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that you guys want us to talk about? Type it in the chat before we close it out. Just so much love for you guys, so much appreciation for you guys showing up on all the platforms. You guys are watching different time zones. I appreciate it. Might be morning where you are, it might be late night where you are, but you found it to yourself to plug in. And again, I said, this is not a Boston call, because I know who I am, let alone whose I am. So absolutely. Oh, awesome, awesome. Somebody said part 2 of introvert. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. She's coming. She's taking her time, but the missus will show up to really teach on this with myself as well. I will have the phenomenal Beige Fletcher Boston in the house to really just hit home on that part 2. So my team is taking a snapshot. The first one is discipline. Next one is part 2 of the introvert conversation. Oh, see, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Somebody said leadership. This is awesome. Somebody said belief, the psychology of the masses. Okay. All right. I like that. Belief, the psychology of the masses. I love that. And then someone said mentally, or mental stability, obviously. And okay, so we got, keep them coming. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking about. We're going to do about a few seconds more so that we can see what else you guys have, continuing to move forward through adversity and life challenges. Okay, continuing to move forward through adversity and life challenges. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we want to learn. This is what we want to see. It allows me to learn more. It allows me to seek and search more, study more, so that I can better approach the situation with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Building as a couple. Oh, Lord, I love that. Building as a couple. Time management. Guys, you guys are not playing today. You guys are not playing today. This is awesome. This is phenomenal. Look at you all. You guys are awesome. You guys are doing big things. You know what I mean? So that is truly an amazing thing. Thank you again, guys. I love y'all so much love, so much appreciation for everything that you guys are doing. Again, ladies and gentlemen, let everyone know that these summit calls, you need to get on these summit calls. You need to really shut it down. You don't need to miss these calls at all, because these calls are powerful. Tell your friends to hop on these summit calls when you do these calls. Your friends, your family, every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Leadership Summit, led by the Most High, being used by Mr. Boston. Again, I love y'all so much. Thank you for attending. I see the faithful people that shows up Mr. Scott, don't worry, it's coming. We will finish it up. Absolutely. I looked at the chapters today and I said, man, I can't wait to get back on that series. So you pull it right out of my mind, brother. So absolutely. I love you guys. Just so much love for showing up, guys. And again, let's go out with energy in the chat box. I'm in New York City. I'm in the hometown. The energy is powerful. It's a city that never sleeps. Guys, energy, 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 energy. Let's close out heavy. Let's close out big. A lot of love for you guys. Love y'all so much. So much love and appreciation. Y'all be blessed and continue to win. Let's go.
Let's go.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. Thank you guys for really